News anchor goes straight to the hospital after viewer notices odd detail about her. Victoria Price had been working for NBC for less than 2 years when the worldwide quarantine brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic hit. As her work ramped up in the news station, her health suffered big time. And yet, if it weren't for one hawk-eyed viewer, Victoria never would have noticed. Victoria Price was unaware that her health was compromised. Her entire Florida news team was working long hours day and night with no intentions of slowing down. If she wanted to keep her position, she'd have to keep her composure. In fact, she prided herself on it. As a journalist, it's been full throttle since the pandemic began, Price said on her Instagram. We were covering the most important health story in a century, but my own health was the farthest thing from my mind. That is, until a viewer chimed in. After a long day of newscasting, Price logged into her email to discover a message from a concerned viewer. Her words for Price were so jarring that the news anchor was quite concerned. The woman writing the email noted that Price's neck looked abnormally swollen. While she wasn't a doctor, the viewer told the news anchor she might want to visit a doctor and get her throat checked out. Of course, Price was skeptical. At first, Price hoped the viewer was mistaken. She wasn't feeling ill after all. Sure, her throat was a bit sore, but her job was to speak all day long. A little hoarseness was expected. Still, she decided to give her doctor a call. Price explained to her doctor that she had no symptoms other than a swollen throat. Her doctor informed her that even though she was mostly asymptomatic, she should pay him a visit. Frightened by his foreboding words, Price set up an emergency appointment right away. Price showed up to her doctor's office masked up and ready for anything. He took a look at her thyroid and after a few moments confirmed her fears. Price had developed thyroid cancer in the middle of her neck. The news got even worse. While cancer is typically a disease that develops within our bodies, there are certain types that can be seen from the outside. The most common of these visible cancers could be hiding right under your nose. Well, perhaps a little lower than that. The most common symptoms of thyroid cancer include a swollen neck, pain up to the ears, and trouble swallowing. However, these can also be signs of a standard sore throat. Bad news kept piling up. Thyroid cancer can spread like wildfire. Once past the thyroid, it can spread far enough to cause irreversible damage. Unfortunately, Price's cancer had already begun to spread into her lymph nodes, but had it gone too far? Thankfully, Price's doctor said she was lucky. Her cancer had just begun its attack on her lymph nodes, which means the viewer might have caught it just in time. However, there was still a chance of complications as Price was going to need throat surgery. Thankfully, Price was very positive about her outcome. She was expected to only need one surgical treatment with no chemotherapy or additional procedures. To help calm her nerves, she decided to post about her diagnosis on social media and was instantly bombarded with questions. Price received tons of love and personal stories from her followers, plus an array of inquiries regarding her diagnosis. One user pointed out that they couldn't see the lump at all, to which Price responded with an insightful point. It's not super obvious unless you know what to look for, said Price, who then took a photo from a new angle. This helped her followers fully understand what the viewer saw and what to look for themselves. So, how did Price's surgery go? On the day of her surgery, Price posted a photo of herself in recovery, enjoying a popsicle. Aside from a little stiffness, soreness, and weakness, I'm feeling pretty great, she said. As she healed, Price continued sharing about her experience on Instagram. She even claims that the surgery was the easiest part. Prior to my thyroidectomy, a lot of people told me the surgery's the easy part. I didn't understand that at first, now I do. Price gave her followers a crash course about her month-long process of recovery, even sharing some not-safe-for-work photos. Her prognosis? It's not a death sentence, but it's a life sentence, says Price, who will forever be in recovery. I'll be on Levo and need to balance these levels for the rest of my life. I may be scarred, but I ain't scared. Thankful to still be alive, Price has some words of advice. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. That's the moral of the story. A little kindness went a long way for me. Don't forget that your health is your wealth. Her words have resonated all over the planet. People are finding ways to address their health, especially amidst the pandemic.